And hi everyone, happy to see all of you, and welcome back to today's session organized by VODAN Africa. And my name is Putu Hadi. So today, Prof. Miriam will lead the meeting with the agenda, and as always, try to keep your mic muted during the presentation to prevent background noises. And if you have any question, please type it into the chat box or raise your hand. And now I will give the floor to you, Prof. Miriam, to lead the meeting with the agenda. The floor is yours, Prof.
Thank you, Putu, and great, wonderful to see everybody. There's been a lot of work done, and we had a very good meeting yesterday, already tying everything together. So today the idea is that we really tie it up very well. And first of all, I think we're going to look at the work of Mariam in bringing together the template on ANC within the fields and attributes. So Mariam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Prof. Miriam.
When you open the share screen.
So this is the general overview of the VODAN attributes and terms across the different template groups. So currently, the Uganda fields are now entered as well and complete. So the next step is to basically completely summarize the common fields among all the templates, the ANC templates across the different countries. And so far we can already see that we have a few common fields. For instance, serial number, though for Kenya, it's probably called ANC, but that is yet to be confirmed. And then we have age. Age is also common across all the templates. Syphilis results is also common across all the ANC templates and will probably be among the diagnostics that will be used across the templates. We'll probably have the syphilis along with the HIV, which is also a common attribute among the templates. And we'll probably use treatment outcome for specific templates. And that's a basic overview for the ANC. And then with the rest of the fields, they're already complete. The templates as well. Now what's left is basically integrating them with the ontologies, and the template group work will be done.
That is so amazing. Really, congratulations, Mariam. That's wonderful. I think if you and Putu can then agree on these final statistics and give these to Oluwole and Ezra, then they can finalize the dashboards. And then Putu, if you can integrate these final statistics in the agreement, and then from today onwards, if these are the statistics that we would agree, then these agreements can go out, Dr. Reginald. And that means that now with the coordinators, you can start signing, well, explaining and signing everything in relation to the health facilities. So maybe to have an orderly decision, maybe first I should ask you, Mariam, again, to show the statistics of all of the templates as you propose, to see if Putu has any additional comments on that, and then to see with Dr. Reginald if we can approve this.
Yes, so this is the overview of the statistics for all the templates. The ANC ones are yet to be entered, seeing as the Ugandan templates has just been completed as well. But this is the general overview of the facility statistics for all the template groups.
Maybe what we can do, Mariam, if you can add the proposed statistics for ANC, while we go to the presentations by Gato and Samson and Tigis now, and then before the end of the meeting, I'll get back to you, and then we can agree this final format, or at least discuss it. Is that okay? Is that doable?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, wonderful. Then let me go. I think if I'm correct on the agenda, that the next will be the progress reports by Team Mekelle, Samson and Gato and Tigist on the backup, the bulk input, and the integration, the interoperable export-import in DISH. We discussed it yesterday. The Mekelle team was not, didn't have connectivity, but what we agreed yesterday was that we are clear that the backup is okay. Ronald, who is also here today, would be doing a second check with Mekelle team. And then on the bulk input and DISH import export, we inventorized that for DISH, what am I saying? DHIS 2, we have 5 countries with export to DHIS 2, which is Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and I forget one, and Somalia. And then there is one with an alternative, and that is Impilo in Zimbabwe. So that would be 6 iterations of the export-import for DHIS 2. So let me hand over to Samson to give the demonstrations and the clarifications on these last steps. Samson, over to you.
Hello, Prof.
Hello, Samson.
This is Gato. I will start presenting the DHIS2 interoperability with MVP first. And hello, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it very well.
Yeah, then Samson will continue with the bulk input as well as the other presentations. So last time we tried to show the flow diagram for the DHIS2 and MVP interoperability. So what we proposed was we start by identifying indicators to report to DHIS2, and we bring the skeleton, JSON skeleton from DHIS2, and we populate the values from the MVP into the JSON skeleton, and then bring it back to DHIS2 and import it. One is this way, and the other is we use API capability of DHIS2, and we just post the JSON file automatically from our system to DHIS2. So the last several days we were trying pause. So we try to export the JSON skeleton format from DHIS2, and we brought it into our MVP, and we add the values and import it to DHIS2 again, and it works. So I would like to start from the showing you walking you through the DHIS2 system. So DHIS2 is an HMIS system, which is District Health Information System, which is like a repository, contains aggregated data. So this example is for Sierra Leone. This is available online. You can play around with this system. However, every country has its own DHIS2, which we couldn't access it directly. If you have the privilege, you can only log in. So what we did is we just use this online live demonstration, and we tried what we proposed in the flow diagram. So most of the DHIS2 is the same across all countries. However, the difference is in the selecting the data elements and indicators. Therefore, our program can be generalized to, can be specific to countries. It depends on the country. So what we need to do is DHIS2 has the capability of giving you, Putu, can you accept people are coming and you can admit them, okay? Yeah, it's disturbing.
Sure. You can continue.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. So even though DHIS2 is the same, but countries have their own specification of indicators and data elements. Therefore, every country, for example, 5 of them, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Somali, could have different type of representation for the antenatal care. For example, in this Sierra Leone dashboard, you can see antenatal care, and it has ANC coverage by district and other. So what we do is we just download, export the the data elements, the data values for each country, and we can adapt them in our MVP, and we can generalize it. We can make it work for every DHIS2. Therefore, DHIS2 has the capability of data entry. For example, as you can see here, it has several applications. So one is data entry. Data entry allows us to enter data manually. To enter data, we need to go to the facility, each facility, and select data sets to be entered, and we select data elements. Generally, the DHIS to organize, it has organizational structure. It starts, for example, Sierra Leone is a country, and it has regions, several regions. In the regions, there are districts. For example, if you see Western area, it has districts. Inside every district, there are facilities. This structure is the same in Ethiopia as well. I hope it's the same in Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria, and Somali as well. But we have to explore for each country. But this Sierra Leone and Ethiopia has the same similar organizational structure. So in the districts, for example, in Freetown district in Sierra Leone, there are facilities. We chose facility clinic, family clinic for our demonstration. So in family clinic, the data for reproductive health data set, data has 3 dimensions in DHIS2. One is organization units, which indicates the where, which answers where, the question where. Data sets answers the question what, and period asks answers the question when. So in DHIS2, every data element is has 3 dimensions. So in this demonstration, we have organization units, family clinic, and data set reproductive health. Period is February 2022, last week, sorry. So as you can see, in this data set, we have antenatal care, delivery, and other, there are several sections, but I would like you to focus on the antenatal care. In the antenatal care in reproductive health data sets, there is one section which is antenatal care. In the antenatal care, there are different data elements. For example, ANC, first visit, second visit, and so on. The data elements could be disaggregates. For example, in Sierra Leone, they disaggregate it into fixed as well as outreach. However, in Ethiopia, for example, we have antenatal care coverage, first visit. This is a section in reproductive health dataset. It has 3 data elements. For example, the first one is number of pregnant women who received ANC first visit by gestational week. This is disaggregated into 2 parts, less than 16 weeks gestation and greater than or equal to 16 weeks gestation. And the second data element is number of pregnant women that received antenatal care at least once by maternal age. This is a disaggregated using age 10 to 14, 15 to 19 years, greater than or equal to 20. The third one is at least the total number of pregnant women that received antenatal care at least 4 visits by maternal age, and it's disaggregated by age. So if we compare the Sierra Leone one and the Ethiopian one, they are different in structure. However, every data element is has its own unique code, and the representation internally they are the same in a sense. The structure-wise they are the same. I will show you how to. I will show you the JSON script, and you will understand it. But we need to understand that every 5 of them could have different representation of data sets, data elements, and so on. So finally, I want to show you how to export the skeleton, the JSON skeleton for the things that I showed you. For example, here, if I want to export a productive health data set, which under data set, there are data elements and disaggregations. Everything is included in this data set. If I export this, I will get a so maybe I need to show you the site. Can you see the browser? Hello.
We see the VODAN glossary now.
Ah, sorry. I need to. I think I will show you this one. I want to show you this one. How about now?
Yeah, now we see the demo. Sierra Leone.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So this is the Family Clinic Reproductive Health, January 2020. These are sample values. So now what I want to show you is this reproductive health has different sections. One is antenatal care, post-care, delivery, and so on. But for this demonstration, we are interested in the antenatal care. So I will show you how to import values into this, for example, into ANC first visit. For example, 150. We can export the JSON skeleton and put value in the JSON skeleton and bring it back and import it into DHIS2. We can change values. So what you do is you go to DHIS2 has the capability of importing and exporting. So maybe it will take some time. So here we have import export capabilities. So what we do is we can import data in the JSON format. So if we see this, we can import and we can also export. So what all of us, five countries can do is they can export the JSON representation for the facility they want and send us the JSON, and we can incorporate it into MVP. For example, here we have Sierra Leone. Under Sierra Leone, we selected Western area region, and then we select the Freetown. In the Freetown, there is one facility name, clinic. So therefore, we are going to download the JSON skeleton for this family clinic only, the facility. So which data set are we going to export? Which is reproductive health, because we are concerned with the antenatal care. And we can select the dates. For example, in this system, it works only January and February, the last 2 months. But in, for example, in countries, they can have 10 years back data, or it depends on the country. Therefore, now, because this system limited us to access only January and February, we can select January 1st, 2022. Maybe this one is also one. January 2022, one, okay. Up to February 2022, yeah. So we need it to be JSON, and you can select uncompressed. If we export this, it will directly download it. And if we open it, we will have JSON value. Sorry, wait. We will get JSON value. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see your screen.
Yeah, can you see the JSON file?
No, that not yet.
Mm-hmm. So maybe. I don't know why it's not showing multiple screens. How about now?
Yeah, now we see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the JSON file looks like this. It's structured, it's using data values. Under the data value, it's an array which contains these elements. One is data element, the other is period, organization unit, category option combos. These are the codes for example, for data element, this code represents the ANC, first visit. I showed you in the previous form. So I just prepared this to simplify it. We will have, for example, the JSON, which I downloaded, the skeleton JSON, will have a lot of data elements, but I just extract this one, which affects only the first data element, which is ANC first visit, and the disaggregation fixed. So how we know it? So if I try to show you the I don't know how to show you the multiple screen. Now you can see, you are seeing the JSON file, yeah, Prof?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Just
maneuver.
go in and out. No worries. Take your time. You're doing good.
Yeah, Prof. Yeah, maybe multiple show all windows. Yeah, nice. I got it. So I can maneuver from screen to screen. How about now? Can you see my browser?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, this is better. So here, what I want to show you is DHIS2 has the Wait a minute. Yeah. I want to rearrange it. I couldn't see. My God. Yeah, sorry. One second. Yeah, I want to show you this one. For example, DHIS2 allows us to access the API like this. So if you want, for example, data elements, all data elements, you can access them like this. For example, here, I have ANC, first visit, its ID is this one. So in my, in this code, in the JSON skeleton, for example, the data element, this code represents this one. If you can compare it, its ID is this one. So it represents ANC first visit. And the period is January. And its organization unit is the facility. And you can access it from, for example, the organization unit. If you search it like this, you can find it here. So we are working with the family clinic. So the family clinic has this ID as well. And combo category option combo represents the disaggregation. So in our case, we have disaggregation of fixed as well as outreach. Therefore, the fixed one is represented by this ID. So we have this ID. Then here, if we change the value, for example, this 150 to 500 and upload it back to DHIS2. So here we have to import it back. We extract it, we need to import it. So this is the JSON file, and we need to, yeah, it's already successfully prepared, and we select JSON. And if we import the value, which only changes the value of the ANC first visit, we can check, and we have uploaded one, totally one, because I just selected that part only. And if we go back to our DHIS2 and check, yeah, we go to that particular facility. So yeah, maybe we need some time to load, and yeah, we have this facility, and we select the data set, which is reproductive health, to see the result. And the date is January. And can you see this one, Prof? Hello.
I can, sorry.
Yes, I can see
my screen.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 150, and we managed to change it
Yes,
into
yeah, I
100.
see it. I
So
see it. It's
this-
amazing.
Yeah, the same way we can put every data element that we want to change here in this JSON file, and we can populate every value, anything here. So what we do is, so we prepare the skeleton from the DHIS2, and we bring it, we change single value, and when we import it, it changes the value. So what we do is, next presentation by Samson will show you how we manage to do this automatically using MVP, or minimal viable product. This demonstration that I'm presenting is to make it clear for you, the workflow. So what we need from you, especially 5 countries, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, and Somalia, we need the JSON format for every facility they want to report to DHIS2. Yeah. And hopefully what we are planning is to just video record this process neatly, and we will distribute it to every one of you. And you can prepare the JSON skeleton and you give us, and we incorporate it into the MVP for each country. Thank you, Prof. If you have any question, you can. Sorry for the.
Don't say sorry. That is a really fantastic job, and we are still entirely in specifications and requirements of our MVP, and we have actually almost achieved it. Well done. Really proud of
Thank
you.
Prof.
Yes, amazing.
Thank you.
So, Kawu, you wanted to say something, huh?
Yes. Let me very first. This is very impressive moment. As a field worker, you know, I have worked with DHIS under different health systems, and I know like the future is this, where we interoperate data, because they have always been in silos, every program to its data. But if we're achieving interoperability, then yes, we need to understand what's going on behind, which Samson has just put us in that loop. Yeah, and then we can now, you know, easily take this forward with the ministry, as well as, you know, give them that ownership back, because that's very important.
Yeah. Yeah, now we are really matching the DHIS2 requirement, plus the facility can understand and see
exactly
its own data, and then even as a community, as long as you agree, you can have these statistics across. That was what we wanted to do, and we are getting it. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we're almost home and dry, and great work by everyone. So in the case of Nigeria, I was just thinking, like, given the timeline, and first, I think Samson is on the assumption that each health facility, or I need to be clear, if each health facility, despite their control access, so usually facilities have data entry access, but not analysis and some of those, or some of these exports. I'm not sure if they do. They usually are just shown how to use data entry and just enter data, right? So if someone has, for instance, that level of only access to data entry, are they able to access the export function? Because what that means is, otherwise we have to refer to the ministry directly. You understand my point?
Yeah, thank you, Abdullah. I think in Ethiopia's case, the facility has import-export capability. They can access it. If they don't have, I think in the regional bureau or the Ministry of Health, someone has the privilege. So this is one-time work.
Yeah.
If they can give us the JSON skeleton for that particular facility once, it will be used permanently in our MVP.
Okay. So yeah, I would just think for the bureau, it's fine, you know. We can get the ministry maybe to get it done once. Yeah. But I'm just looking at also, I always have a best and worst case scenario. The worst case will be to still make use of what we have and have an instance of DHIS to demonstrate to them, especially in the light of time. Because sometimes with ministries, they could, you know, take some time before they even get back to your correspondence and some of those. So we could have an instance to demonstrate what we're doing, and over the period we can now, integrate. That's one. The other part is, remember, just like you are showing the reproductive health data element, we are saying we are focused on antenatal care. What happened to the other data sets? When you think of, in practical time, they are entered together, yeah? But now we're focused on A and C. So what happened to the other data sets and how are they going to be handled? I'm just curious, from the practical.
Yeah, actually, this was the same question we were asking for the last several days while we were trying. So yeah, of course, in this, for example, in these reproductive health data sets, there are different sections. And for example, antenatal care, postal care, delivery, and so on.
Yeah, we have the same.
Yeah, what we are focusing is on the antenatal care. What we came up with a simple, straightforward solution is that scenario is that, for example, in the facility, they manually input the antenatal care section, the postal care section, and all sections in this data set. Yeah. So what they can do is they just, for example, if we successfully implement the antenatal care will be put automatically by pressing a button. It can be populated, and then the others they can use manually, or we can develop along we go. Yeah, along we go, we can implement for the other sections as well. Yeah. As you said, the limitation, that's our limitation. The limitation is to save this data set, every section has to be filled. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
At least in Ethiopian case, every section of data set should be populated and saved, reported. But what I said earlier is that, for example, some of the sections could be populated automatically and the others manually. So this could be the limitation, but still we are showing the possibility of interoperability between DHIS2 and other systems. So it comes to your first suggestion or comment, that we can demonstrate the possibility of interoperability between MVP and DHIS2 to the Ministry of Health. We can show them it's possible.
Great.
Very, very good. Thank you, Kau, for all these questions and comments. Let me go to Samson, I think, for the next part. Getu, that was excellent.
Thank you. Okay, well.
Samson.
Thanks, Prof. Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. Great. So because I think Getu has made a good and extensive presentation, I'll try to make mine to be brief. And like Getu said, if need be, we're going to have a recording of all the different pieces and bits. But what I can say for now is that we are in a much better, in fact, in a good position because most of the things that we set out to do are pretty much done, I would say. So I think it's an exciting moment for especially going forward from now for VODAN, because the challenge is that we are presented with FAIR, which has fundamental basic principles which are nicely and beautifully written, but to translate a principle into a product requires a lot of architecting, and we are trying to in VODAN, we are trying to architect our way out into the clinical health data, which is really a global challenge as well. So now, I don't know if you can see my screen. I'll try to quickly go through my presentation. Putu, can you see my screen?
We can.
Yes, yes.
Great. So I think this we've already presented in our last presentations is a facility to recreate templates which are produced globally to adapt them. This has a good significance in that as researchers we might not always be doing our own templates like VODAN has the architecture for both research and clinical data. And we will be using lots of templates for research. So we can take this feature takes the research name and the description about the research that you want to conduct, or if it is a template for clinical data such as ANC, what it's about, and the folder in which you want to create or the directory where you want to create that template, because when you have lots of templates, you would want to organize them into folders. So these are the folders would be the places where you organize your tools. Think of them like the directory structure that you have on your computers. And this one would be a JSON file that you would copy over from, or someone who has shared them with you. CEDAR has an option of sharing templates, or it could be an external template that's created elsewhere, or a standard tool that can be used for data collection. Then this system does the automatic uploading of the template into the local instance of CEDAR, which allows you to collect data, both clinical and research data going forward. This bulk upload allows us to also do similar, not similar per se, but allows us to verify data, data that's already available in CSV format, or and then it takes in that format, and then we need to give it a template instance based on which it populates it to the to your system. So this one does the bulk upload, and this one is syncing to Allegro, syncs to Allegrograph. This one also allows us to, if we have RDF triplets, it allows us to store them. The backup facility, we choose the backup location, and then we store them. In the restore facility, you do select the file where you might have stored. For instance, in my case, in and this you're going to have to give it the folder location where we have, and then it normally does the restore. So like I said last time, what we focused on is on how we make the backup creation process very easy. Like you see, if they want to take it to external drive, it downloads the backup automatically. Then they can, it's in zip format, then they can ship it to wherever they want. So I'm going to go directly to syncing to the HIS2, which is what G2 has been trying to express all the steps that are required to upload to sync with the HIS2. So what it takes is the template format based on which we want to import the to the HIS2. So I'll use either ANC format. I think I can show you later what it looks like. But before I start uploading to the HIS2, let's go to in DHIS2, we can go to the data entry forms, and we can see what the form's status is like. In DHIS2, what you do is the reporting is done in March. You do the reporting for February. As you can see, it's blank. For January, like here, the Ethiopian ANC has, like Getu was trying to mention, they based on they need for ANC, these are the indicators that the Ministry of Health needs. Like they want to know how many this month had the gestational age of less than 16 weeks, and then those greater than 16 weeks, and also based on the maternal age, like those that are 14 to 16, 15 to 19, and greater than 25 years old. This is the disaggregation for ANC. So what we are expecting now is whenever I do sync to DHIS2, we have data that's collected from using CEDAR and is available in JSON link data format on MongoDB. What our system does is it reads the Mongo database, which has a storage of the instances created using CEDAR, and then it does the aggregation, and also at the same time the disaggregation by age, by gestational age, by maternal age, and the likes. So when I hit this sync to DHIS2, it does two things. One is it tries to sync it directly, but we're not sure if all the facilities have network connectivity. Like we might have facilities whereby the people who would be reporting on DHIS2 are different from the people who would be working as data stewards using our CEDAR system. So it has automatically downloaded this is a JSON file that you've seen earlier. So what the data stewards can do is they can download whenever they are asked. At the moment, they will have to do tallies. They have tally sheets. There is a lot of recording going on in the HMIS department to do tallying and disaggregating, and then preparing the data, and then also entering the data. So the burden of recording needs to be somehow reduced. In this case, both of them are done, and I'm hopeful that whenever I go now on February, I see the values. Sure enough, the data are already here. So whenever there is, for instance, this is a JSON format that the data is inserted in different data elements can be entered in DHIS, like in MongoDB. This is where I can use CEDAR to show you the so I have this recordings, and as you can see, it's 17 plus 3 is 20. We have 20 records for the sample. Earlier on, there was a question that was being asked about how we would be using DHIS2. As you can see, it says localhost :8085. DHIS2 is a free and open source system that is available and can be installed locally. For the sake of this demonstration, we have been able to install it locally on my laptop, and we have access to it. And Tasfit is not here today with us, but he has extensive experience with DHIS2, and his experience has really been helpful in understanding the DHIS system, and along with Getu, I think what was really challenging was understanding the reporting formats and the likes, and we had also access to the HMI system of or the DHIS2 for Tigray, but we chose to, in order to be able to do freely deleting, and for instance, now I can delete these reports and recreate them back. To have these features, we chose to install and test it locally. Like here, I can do delete because it does soft delete. We can also clear the browser cache to make sure that we have actually cleared it, and that we are able to recreate the instances. Like here, you could see that it's empty. So if I just go here and then do save, yeah, like I said earlier, it does both then let me refresh this back again and see for yeah, it's here already. So the challenge that we are going to face is because different countries have a very extensive DHIS report. I mean, there are thousands of indicators, and working for all indicators is going to be a lot of work. But if we share the burden of the data clergy and be able to automate this, it can take time to do it fully for all indicators, but I think we can really reduce the burden of reporting that's currently hindering the digital health interventions from scale up. And also we need to we want to assure our partners here that whichever I would say health facility which wants to use the extensive this feature of interoperability, we're here to support, but it will need a commitment to like, for instance, for the reports to really make sense. For instance, if we are to talk about OPD reports, then all OPDs need to be enrolled, or all the AMCH need to be enrolled, because the aggregation is going to be across all the departments. Sorry for making it long, and thank you. Over to you, Putu.
Abdullah, do you want to ask something or give a feedback because you raised your hand?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Samson. And I think also very good work. I wanted to ask a question around what you demonstrated. You can just bring up the create backup and restore.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is for creating backup, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's making me confused, because if we are creating a backup, why do we need to select a file? Why is that file holder there?
Oh, normally it's not a file folder. It's just instead of making the location of the backup to be fixed, we wanted to
select location. Yeah?
We wanted to the location to be selected by the.
Oh, okay, I get now.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, you're right. I mean, yeah.
So I think it needs to be descriptive, then like select location,
definitely.
rather than
yes,
use file.
Exactly. Yes, yes. It's just it's well noted, Abdullah.
Okay, thank you. And then I think this is just probably Professor Miriam and even the team. I'm just thinking like, just like Samson observed, if we need to integrate directly to current HMI system, already it will create that hesitation, as in you don't want to mess with existing record. So can we now, yes, working with the JSON and everything, have the MVP to demonstrate using the DHIS we set up and say, this is how it works, and then we're able to do same on your system with your approvals. And I think at that time, the barriers will be less than we have it, and it can work. Just thinking like, given our time also.
Well, first of all, a really big thank you to Samson as well. It's just really an amazing coming together of what we set out. So it's really, really excellent. And I think it's a bit food for thought, how, what is the best pathway? I mean, that is now more a question of adoption, really. What is the best pathway on the next iterations? So it's past 4 o'clock. Should we say that we will discuss this again in the meeting on Monday? Samson, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, just a quick answer to Abdullah. What we can do is, for those interested, it would be easy to, as part of the minimum viable product, the DHIS2 can be installed along with the image, so that they can, at least for the proof of concept and to demonstrate, like Abdullah said, and if we have a good value proposition, then they would be able to take it further.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over.
That's good. And then maybe I'm looking also at Ronald Manhibi. What would be very nice is if we had a full MVP for Ethiopia and Tigray and for Zimbabwe. And because those were the original countries for implementation, we would have 20 facilities in Ethiopia and 10 in Zimbabwe. So we are nicely achieving that number. So if Samson, does that sound realistic that we would, with Ronald, finalize it for Impilo, and we would finalize it with Tigist in Addis and then in Mekelle with your team? And that those 3 locations, we go for a full import-export functionality. And then we have the other option to still put it in place properly for the other countries, where then also a bit more work can be done with the Ministry or Bureau of Health. Would that make sense as a proposal?
Yes, Prof. I think it's a good proposal.
And Ronald, would you agree to that? Because it would require that you and Samson and Tesfit work on the Impilo export in the same logic. Ronald, how do you see that? Maybe there's no good connection. And Tiki, yes.
Sorry, my connection is not so good. So I was saying it's we can work together. I think that makes sense. I had written something in the chat box to allude to that.
Ah, yeah, great, excellent. And Tigist, do you feel the same for the Addis clinics, Tigist?
Yes, probably, and we'll work together and we'll see the proposal.
Excellent. Well, I think then we have resolved that part. And again, really big thank you to everybody. I feel like overwhelmed. It's really an amazing day to see the whole architecture coming together. I was speaking to Aliyah. I was saying to Aliyah, we are missing you. But she said that the cat had eaten her internet cable. So she didn't have connection. So she's going to watch the recording, and she was sorry to miss the important moments. Before we close, I would like to go back to Mariam on her fantastic work and the statistics. Mariam.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, so actually, within this time, I was able to also identify another common fields. I'll share my screen. Just a moment. So currently, these are the proposed statistics for the ANC. Putu has been looking at this as well, and so far, we found that there is no dates in both the Ugandan and the Somalian templates, but we can use the patient's age by, let me say, interval, seeing as it's a common field as well. And then we might not be able to use patient visits by month as well because of no dates. So we could probably do this aggregated, let me say, number of patient visits per month, because there's month in the Ugandan template and Somalian, but there's no dates. And then the other common field is the syphilis test results, which is also common in all the ANC templates, along with gestation age. So I've actually forwarded this to Putu as well, and maybe he can add some comments if he has any.
And am I missing the HIV one now, or did you just say that?
The HIV is not within the Ugandan template, so
but maybe you could still add it, and then it could be clear that the Uganda one is not.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay. Yeah.
Prof. Miriam, I want to add something. I mean, like, the challenge is the date field in because we miss the date field in Uganda and Somalia. So I mean, I think can we add the date field in Uganda and Somalia, because in I think accumulative patient age accumulative and patient visit accumulative is not good statistics. So it is better to have statistic daily or monthly, but accumulative, because of we missing date field in Uganda and Somalia, is not like it doesn't mean anything. Accumulative is not good for statistics. So that's our concern. So we are, yeah. So what do you think?
It is, I'm thinking that it is so strange that that is not in the Uganda DHIS2 ANC. Very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without a date field, so we cannot like categorize the patient by daily patient.
Yeah. Maybe we could simply add it, because maybe they collected from like an initial process before that, but within this specific ANC it's not there, but in the MCA general it was available. So I'm thinking it's not a bad idea to add it.
Sounds good. That sounds good. There is it Francesca? There's somebody asking to add something. Oh, that's you, Putu. Okay. So Dr. Reginald, are you happy with these statistics? Do you need to pass this by the country coordinators and also by this proposal to include the HMIS import just in Zimbabwe and Ethiopia? Dr. Reginald, would you conclude on these things for decision purposes?
Well, what I would say is that most of the country coordinators are here and they are following the discussion very keenly. Unless somebody has a very big question or objection, we could say we adopt.
Let me ask if there is any objection by country coordinators or anybody for that matter. So that means maybe you can scroll up again, Mariam, on the screen, so that we adopt these statistics for the internal dashboard and the aggregate dashboard. That would then also allow Oluwole and Ezra to finish the virtual image, and that we, Samson and Ronald, is it, well, I think we could finalize the virtual image in 2 batches. Oluwole, is that possible, or is that not a good idea to first finish them for Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria?
Hello, Prof.
Yes, Tanzania, and then finalize with Ethiopia and Zimbabwe once we have integrated the HMIS export. Oluwole.
Hello, Prof. I didn't hear the beginning of the statement. I didn't hear the beginning of your question.
Oh, let me go again. So my question to you is, so I think that the virtual image for all the countries bar Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, they can in any case be finalized. For Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, we will then integrate in the virtual image the export to the HMIS system. And so my question to you is, would it be right to work in these 2 batches, that you and Ezra begin with these statistics to produce the virtual image for all of the countries, and then follow on after that with those for Ethiopia, so that is Ethiopia and Tigray, and then Zimbabwe?
It's okay, Prof. Yeah, our plan was to probably work on all the countries and make all of them available for deployment.
Next week, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so I will, so then I'm asking you and Ezra to begin with all of the countries that don't have the direct export function, and that we finalize with the direct export function in Ethiopia and Zimbabwe. So they will be the last virtual images to create, Oluwole.
Okay, it's okay, Prof. We
That will
can
be
have it like that.
Okay, perfect. And Kau, you are saying please include the HIS MVP for Nigeria's VI. Do you mean at the same level as Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, Abdullahi?
Yeah, so Prof, I think it's similar. What I see even Samson and Getu shared is not so different from Nigeria. So the only thing is, just like Samson alluded to, we can have it as part of the image, and we use that to demonstrate to the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
For so it should go with the image, you know, the DHIS
right
system should go. Yeah.
Okay, and then but then you should send the JSON specifications to Samson and team.
Anyway, I will communicate Samson, but
yeah,
what is available is the structure, so the indicators in an Excel file, which he can anyway use. To get the JSON could take a lot longer time. So he can start to use that. I will still work on JSON.
But for the sake of Oluwola and all of us, I'm sorry I'm going over time, but it is really important. And thank you everybody for hanging in here. Let me ask you the following question, all of you. We need to really make this decision together. Oluwola and Ezra have in principle taken the time off this week, the end of this week, to prepare the virtual images. That would allow us to actually deploy next week. But I am not sure that we can integrate all of the HMIS export because it depends on the time of Samson, Gato, and TestFit, and also of all of you to get that information to them. The other consideration that I have is that on the 20th of April, I have actually now secured that we have a meeting at the occasion with the visit of Mark Newson from Stanford, from CEDAR, and we will have the meeting together with the San Diego Center for Supercomputing. So the showcasing of what we can do and having some of the data produced is important that by the 20th of April, we can do that. Now, the question is the quality of the virtual image. When do we want to deploy? What is a timeline that we ask Oluwola and Ezra to work with, but also to get the best product that we should have. So how do we timeline this now? Mariam, I think Mariam, you will be done, right? You will do the final templates within a day or two. You are ready, right, Mariam?
Yes, I just need 2 days max.
Yeah, I thought so. So Mariam is ready. Gato, Samson, and TestFit are ready with the backup. They are ready with the bulk imports. So the last remaining thing is the scope that we want on this DHIS2 import export. So let me hand back over to Samson to guide us on what we would want to decide now. Samson.
If I understand the question correctly, one option that we have is if Oluwola and Ezra have a good connection, I don't think it should be very difficult to integrate DHIS2 into the working image. So I think as per Abdullah's request, what we can do is, even if we don't finalize for specific templates, which even if we completed for a specific image, it's not as such useful for the facilities. So what we want, what's more important is the demonstrating the ability and getting the buy-in. So in that regard, I agree with Abdullahi. So we can consider even for the others to include it, and then we create the capacity. We can have a capacity building training on this area, and each data stored in different countries can we create capacity to them, and then they can serve their respective facilities. So I take it as a good request.
Okay, so then, okay, that's good. So that means that we do the full in Zimbabwe and Ethiopia, and we have a DHIS integrated in the other places where we can, but not with the automated exporting ability. Is my summary correct, Samson?
Yes, it's more or less correct, but the automated ability, the functionality would be there, but they will need to work on adapting the template themselves, which only requires the what I could
specifications to be included.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, okay. I think that is clear. Then Oluwole, can you work with that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're comfortable?
It's okay. For us, the image is ready with us, except for the ANC that we need to integrate. Once we have that, it's easier as long as we can actually just clone the repo from something. Everything is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we have good internet to push it up for the different countries to download and install at any moment. Yeah. So, and once we are done, it's what they can actually download and install, deploy in 30 minutes.
Yeah. So then we need to have a close collaboration between you, Oluwole, Samson, and team Mekelle, Mariam, and Kao on the finalization that the virtual image is exactly according to what we have here discussed. So you have that technical team. So Oluwole, I don't think you will have any problem. You can just communicate there in that team.
Yes, yes. I think prior to now, in our last meeting, so we agreed on possibly having this kind of meeting, the kind of meeting we had over the week. Yeah, it was kind of interesting and insightful. So
yeah,
I think we can easily coordinate amongst ourselves.
Excellent. Well, then I think we can conclude a wonderful meeting. I will also move forward a proposal for that meeting on the 20th of April. I would like to ask everybody to please block that. And maybe Putu, I can also ask you to, together with Obina, to really make a really nice communication and that we really maximize also Dr. Reginald and everybody, that we maximize the attendance from ministries of health and from all our colleagues, also those in the health facilities. And then we will now start collecting suggestions for the demonstrations that we will do on the 20th. I think the demonstrations today, again, were also very, very helpful for people to understand what the VODAN architecture brings. So send your ideas on that and we will be finalizing that program, but already if Obina and Putu can arrange for advanced notification, the time is starting 4 o'clock on the 20th Central Eastern European time. So that is 7 o'clock East Africa time. So with that, thank you everybody, and really thank you for hanging in here. So many meetings every week. It's just such a great and wonderful team. I'd also like to thank Oluwole and Ezra for really bringing this virtual image to a real place where we are now going to deploy. It's really amazing as well. And thank you for all of that work that went into that. Mariam, very, very consistently together with Aliyah and Putu, week in, week out on the different domains, steering everybody. Then team Mekelle and also the other technical teams for giving so much creativity and so much insight. And again, Dr. Reginald and the country coordinators for the very consistent support and technical input. This is just such a great team. So thank you. Back over to you, Samson, and we are concluding an amazing meeting. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's back to me, Prof, not Samson. So
Samson, I meant Putu.
Oh yeah. Okay, so thanks everyone. As always, the video recording will be shared in the YouTube and also in WhatsApp. And thanks again for joining us. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye Oluwole.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Obina.